Hello, me again. I've got a bit of time and I thought I'd make another video. Maybe this will be the last one before Christmas. Haven't got the tree up yet, but hope to have it soon. I was listening to the radio this morning, Worldwide FM, Giles Peterson, who I don't often listen to and haven't really listened to much, but it's always nice to think. He's got some interesting music, some stuff maybe not, but it was good. And he made an interesting point I just picked up about sources. It's very important when you're into music. Your sources, that's what's good about finding music. Where do you find it from? And with the internet, obviously, it's become a lot easier now, but certainly before it was about talking to people in record shops. Compilations were a really important thing, and it's got me thinking a bit about some of the sources. So I'll start with this one. This is a cassette, Master Cuts Classic Rare Groove Volume 2. I got this when I was probably, it must be like 1994 or 95 that this came out. I remember I was a teenager, and this was where I first heard LA Nights by Yasuko Agawa. I heard it on the radio and I thought, this is brilliant. And so I got the cassette. That was what I was rocking back then. And it's a really wonderful compilation. And I have since upgraded. That one's a bit mashed now, but that's the vinyl copy. A really superb compilation and very timely because these were put together by Des Parks, who was a very famous DJ and record seller and dancer and all-round face on the scene at the time. And very sadly, I think a couple of weeks ago, he passed away. And quite suddenly, I think. And he was the guy responsible for a lot of these really important compilations in the early Rare Groove days. Rare, the compilation, I think is he most associated with, but he also did these for Master Cuts. There's Volume 1 and Volume 2, and these are absolutely sensational and a real great introduction to me for this sort of style of soul music, which is funky, quite tuneful, very danceable, and really right up my street. So here is where I first heard the Yasuko Agawa. Lots of lovely tunes by Breakwater, High Tension, Tommy Stewart. A lot of the great tunes. There's some Phase O, 80s Ladies, bit of Leon Ware. And this is where I first heard of these tunes, when compilations were the way to go. So very sad that Des Parks passed away, but what a legacy to leave, to pass the knowledge like that is a really, really wonderful thing. Keeping with this idea of celebrating your sources, where you get things from, I get a lot of stuff watching YouTube videos by yourselves, and Instagram's quite a good place for finding interesting looking records and then checking them out. And on the radio now with Mixcloud as well, podcast things, really useful. And there's one that I do like to check out, The Dons of Rare Groove it's called, and it has really top people. The channel is James KMT Leng. If you have a look on that, you'll find that. And I was just listening to it the other day, and it had Al Gray, Tony T and D Boogie, classic, brilliant collectors themselves, and they do radio shows and podcasts, and really sensational music you can always pick up from them. And they played one which was really nice to find, because sometimes a cheap record that you didn't really realise you had already in your collection, and there it is. I've shown this before, I think. This is Cleveland Eaton and the Garden of Eden, Keep Love Alive. Nice cheapie, this one, and famous perhaps most for the song Flying High, sort of quiet storm number. But it's got this really cool funky song which I'd missed completely, and they were playing it on the mix that they did. I'm Lonely Tonight, really nice bubbling bass, just the way I like it. So I thought I'd give that away as my sources as well. A few other things to show. This is a new thing that I picked up. An eBay Victory, fortunately very reasonable price, because it was, when you look on Discogs, the price this thing goes for is absurd. This is the Temprees Love Men, quite a classic in the sort of vocal harmony style there on Stax Records. I think We Produce, it was originally on. This is the UK edition, so it's just on a yellow Stax label. But yeah, really superb vocal harmony stuff. And it's interesting because the musicians here, you've got a lot of the Bar-Kays, but also The Movement, who I'm assuming were Isaac Hayes' band, and you can hear it on some of these songs. It's got a very Isaac Hayes lush kind of sound on some of these. But yeah, really nice one to get. Like I said, on the internet, it seems to be wildly expensive, but it is a bit knackered, that copy, but it plays fine. So I'm really pleased to pick that up. Now here's one I've actually shown before because I only had the CD, but I managed to get the vinyl copy because Jazzman made a few more copies available. Ron Everett, I played this. It's a wonderful thing. The Glitter of the City is the tune, but there's really nice stuff on here. Very funky. Originally a very hard to find private press, so nobody has it basically. And it's on this series, the Jazzman, what do they call it? Oh, I can't see it now, but it's got like the sort of Holy Grail series that they have. So yeah, some people selling these vinyl copies now, very, very expensive, but Jazzman had released a couple more, so I managed to pick one up at the normal price. So that was really, really nice to have. Have the CD as well if I get the chance to listen to it. And just a few other things. I've been really interested. I mean, just looking back at the music I've been getting this year, now that we're at the end of the year, I've been kind of trying to focus on music and songs that really give me a warm sense of joy. And a lot of records I've got, for me, have got that recently. And here's a nice one. This is a reissue. This World by Billy Wooten and Special Friends. Billy Wooten is a vibes player, sort of basically like a band leader. So I think these are basically doing shows, a live band, and occasionally he released a few records here and there throughout a very long career. But this has got some really lovely stuff, and this is a P-Vine reissue, which is never cheap, sadly, but it does have a special special song in it, which just brings out all those warm feelings. So I don't feel bad about having splashed out on this one. The song Dancing and Singing, it's a very simple, sweet tune, but it's the kind of tune that really, this is why I like to collect music and listen to music. I get a lot of records and a lot of them are nice and they're great, but there's a special ones that really bring you to a warm place. And this was another one that I had, this is what I've had for a while. This is from Colombia. It's an easy listening record. Colombian Brass. I think this was recorded in the 60s. Yeah, somebody's written the name and date, fortunately here, 1966. And basically it's some standard Colombian tunes done in a sort of jazz style. Now I'm always a bit I have a complex relationship with jazz. I find it a bit difficult at times, but this is very much more traditional jazz in a way, but there's something about this record which I find irresistible. So I was really pleased to get a copy, and yeah, obviously in this country it's not a record you'll find, but it's really special, and it looks like one of those sort of Herb Alpert records or something, but it's that and so much more. It is an easy listening record, but it's absolutely fantastic stuff, and this is a lovely, lovely copy I got. So I'll put a little needle drop of that. How are we doing for time? Ooh, nearly 10 minutes. I just got a couple of sevens I thought I'd show. I went to a record fair last weekend, and there's a guy I know who has interesting stuff. It's very rare for record fairs that they actually really get a lot of the music that I like, I find. But there's one guy, and I'd seen him before at previous editions of this fair, and he remembered me, and he said, "Oh yeah," and he had a little box of 7-inches, and I've got this lovely one on the Innovation 2 label, which is a label I love, Chicago soul label, and this is by an artist called Sir Wales Wallace, and the tune I knew is kind of like danceable. I think you call it modern soul, whatever you want, which is a really nice, groovy little tune. And another tune which I had heard but I didn't realise was on this 7-inch, so it was a really nice surprise. I wish I could say what I want to. I wish I could say what I want to. Lovely, lovely stuff, that one. And he gave it to me at a very nice price, so no complaints there. And another nice little one here by the group Toulouse from Canada, I think. I have a feeling they might be from the French part of Canada. What Would My Mama Say? Blue-eyed soul at its finest. Nice and funky. Is this a 70s thing? Late 70s, maybe early 80s? Really groovy. Love that. I've got quite a few tunes which I feel like putting a needle drop on, so enough of me. I might make a video before Christmas, or before the end of the year. We'll see how if Santa brings me anything to show. Anyway, and maybe something else that's inspired me. Anyway, all the best. Until next time.